All right, bro. So, hello, my name is Hairel, and right now I am going to interview you for our language assignment. So, can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Daniel James. I'm currently in UTP studying petroleum engineering, second year, second sem. I'm from South Sudan originally, but I was raised in Uganda. So it's like my home country right now. So I'm 19 years old and yeah.
All right, bro. Thank you. So, we are going to start the interview now with the first question. So, it's about development of English. So, how were you introduced to English in your country, and how do you feel about the language?
I was introduced to English. I was introduced to English via school because in all the schools in my country, we they teach in English. The medium of instruction is English, so that's how I was introduced. How do I feel about English? I think it's one of the best and easiest languages to use, and it's fun to use. That is how I feel about English.
Yeah, I feel the same too about English. So, moving on to the next question about historical aspect. So, in historical aspect, how does English evolve in your country, and how did the historical evolution of your English shape the linguistic and cultural landscape of your country?
Well, English came about in the country because the British colonized the country. So when they came, a lot of people because they couldn't speak because they needed to communicate, so they had to teach people English. And then afterwards, after they left, we still followed through and we're still using because there are so many tribes within the country and everyone speaks a different language. So for everyone to understand everyone, they had to find a common language and then English just stuck by. So it's the language that almost everybody who's literate and educated uses. It's because some people uneducated have not yet been exposed to the language, but that is how it came about and that is how it evolved.
Mm. All right, James. Uh, Moving on to the next question. Is there a different version of English practiced by the people of your country? And is there any words from English that have different meaning on your native language? Like your native language that are used alongside the language?
Yes, well, for it's I wouldn't say that English is very different, but it's incorporated with the local language around, so we just mix it about. But then the English is still the same, but then just slang words, just so many slang words we create. But then I can give you some examples, like the word food, we just flip it around and we say doof. I don't know if that makes sense. Food, but you just start DOOF. So that's what we call food. And then other words like sleep, we don't say sleep, we say like pash. It's like it's a word we just came up with, and you say I'm gonna go pash. I'm not gonna then that indicates that I'm gonna go sleep. So, but then the grammatic wise, it's just it's not as good as the British people or the American people, but then it's just close by there under, but we can understand them properly. So,
All right, James. Thank you. Moving to the next question. Are you familiar with idioms in your native language? Can you tell me an idiom that carries the same meaning from both English and your native language?
well, one of the I can only think of one idiom at the time, so it's Njovu tetambulenente. What that translates to is birds birds of the same feather flock together. But then it literally means cow elephants don't move with cows. So it's trying to indicate that elephants move with elephants and cows move with cows. That's what it says. Birds of the same feather flock together. So that is a translation, or that's one of the idioms that comes to my mind with the same meaning in both sides.
All right, bro. This is the last question.
Sure.
Is there any word from English that have a different meaning in your native language?
I mean, it comes back to the word that I could think of right now is chop. The word chop. Chop in English means to like cut something. To chop. To cut something. Well, yeah. But then for us, chop, it means to skip. When you want to skip class, you just be like, I want to chop class. I don't know if that makes sense. I want to chop class. And then if you say I want to chop, it also means I want to eat. So that's those are two meanings for chop that is kind of different to what is in English for us. So yeah,
All right, James. Thank you for spending your time for this interview. I think I am going to stop the recording now. So thank you again for cooperating with me.
sure. It's okay.